Good morning, this is Winich Tucker, empowering Ugandan women on Wednesday or Thursday, 2nd November 2017 for the Uganda Youth Collective. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today is a special day, and today's topic is one that makes me a little bit angry and a little bit sad. But today I'm going to speak under a topic that preparation precedes opportunity. In other words, preparation comes before the opportunity. Preparation comes before the opportunity. You will miss the opportunity you seek if you are not prepared. If it comes, but then you're not qualified for the opportunity, that could be a job, a partner, travel opportunity, a position. This position will go if it comes, but you're not ready for the position. It's not that God has not given us, but all this time that He has been asking us to get ready, it's been in vain. We are still not prepared. Our lust for good things and our unwillingness to do what it takes to get them, and the lazy attitude of wanting it now or easy, even if you have not prepared for it, has caused our downfall and the reason why we are still where we are. It's not that Uganda or Africa has no opportunities. There are many, many. But we are not willing to do what it takes. It is said that every problem is an opportunity for someone to find a solution and therefore find a business that is going to be successful. Find a solution. Our nations have plenty of problems. The reason why we look at some big organizations, the reason why they're successful is because they were able to find a solution to a common problem, to a nation or to a community or to a group of people. The reason why those in a mobile phone or social media have succeeded, the likes of Facebook and Instagram and Snapchat, is because they know that we as a people love to communicate, need to communicate. And what these companies have done, companies like WhatsApp, what they have done is simplified and made it easy for us to be able to communicate. This is why they are successful. They have found the solutions. They have added value to your day. I am able to speak to you right now and communicate to you because somebody found a way. Somebody took the time. When you look at any organization, when you look at car manufacturers, when you look at technology, when you look at phone manufacturers, when you look at in the world of pharmaceuticals, in the cosmetics world, when you look at all these places, the medicines you're consuming today, the antibiotics we use today, they were not created yesterday. They were developed years ago. As a matter of fact, this is why they are saying that some antibiotics are ceasing to be effective, because the bacteria or the viruses that they were developed to cure, that these viruses are becoming more advanced and the antibiotics are no longer as effective as they used to be. And therefore there's a rush on to find a solution to be able to tackle these new advanced bacteria or viruses. When you look at the automotive industry, the car industry, they are way advanced. They spend a lot of money in research and development. And the reason for that, because they want to be prepared. That when the time comes and the solution is required, that's not when you begin to prepare. This is why they're successful and we're not. This is why we are behind. We are years behind. Our communities are miles away. The world is now speaking of a fifth industrial revolution. They're speaking of a time of AIs and smart technology, a time when computers are going to do things, a time where they're talking of robots who are going to do the work that you're currently looking to go to borrow money and go to university to study, only for you to come out of that education and for your job that you're going to go and look for and study for to actually no longer be in existence. Lagging behind and wasting time. We are not prepared. In the case where we have not known what to do, it's understandable. But even after we know, we want to be given things because this is what they've got us used to. Donations, aid, missionaries, NGOs. We don't think because we have come to expect that they will think for us. We don't see into the future because somebody else has always done it for us. This is why when there's a crisis in our countries, in our nation, our first point of call is not God, it's the West. But have you not known, have you not read that woe unto him that puts his trust in men? It is time to prepare. It is time to wake up from our lazy mentalities. It is time to stop feeling sorry for ourselves. It is time to stop folding our hands. And yes, we are hard workers, but the time has come not just to work hard, but to work smart. The time has come. The excuse that I don't know, that expired years ago. We cannot afford not to know. We must know and know now. We must be willing to find out. We must be willing to be made uncomfortable. Get out of your comfort zone. We must be willing to look silly in the process. Because when you don't know something, sometimes you look really silly. The first few times you attempt it, it doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel comfortable. You will know when you've started a new job. And maybe you're not quite sure. I remember when I started working at HM Treasury here in the United Kingdom. For the first 3 weeks, every day I worked in fear. Every day I'd say to myself, I'm going, I can't do this, I can't do this. I was terrified because the position was one that required me to do things properly, things had to be precise. There was no room for mistakes because the documents are prepared. Were documents that will go to the special advisors, that will go to the Prime Minister. So I remember every single day being absolutely terrified that I would do something wrong. Not until one day I made up in my mind. And I was so lucky to have an employer who was in education, or his background was in education. And he said to me, Winnie, go and find out, what do you need to do? What do you need to know? So that you're no longer scared, but you know what you need to do. So that you do your work, not in fear, but with confidence that you know what you're doing. I went and looked up at all the courses, internally and externally, that I needed to do. I remember one of the things I needed to learn was how to be assertive. How to say no. Many times we as Ugandans, as women, as Africans, we don't know how to say no. We say yes to everything, even the things we know we don't need. Because we're scared that we might miss something. We're scared that if we don't obey to the point of being abused, that if we don't bow down to the point of someone taking advantage, that maybe they will not like us, maybe they will not use us. We're not prepared, we don't know. But I remember when I did this course on being assertive, literally learning how to say no. Many times those personal assistants who are from the Prime Minister's office or who are from higher positions, they would come and they would want you to change your diary and change everything because because they were more important. And many times I would do that, but only for the work in my office not to be done, until I learned actually no, I can't do that at that time. I would do it another time. Now for many, they will say that's being rude. No, that's being assertive. That's knowing what you need to do and doing it. We must prepare. If you ask any Ugandan who's looking for a job, many of you have written to me saying, Winnie, can you help me find a job? And I asked a question. I said, okay, great. What can you do? 99% of the people's response is this: I will do anything. Now we think by saying I will do anything, it places you in a position of somebody that is, or demonstrates that you're somebody that is hardworking and is willing to do anything. Wrong. If I am an employer and I ask you, what can you do? And before, by the way, you came to me to ask me for a job, you would have been aware of what I am doing, of what my company is, and what it is that the company does. You're aware of that information. But instead of looking and searching, maybe looking at my mission statement, maybe looking at what it is that I do, and in finding out, how can I add value? How can I help her? How can I help that business or that company to fulfill their mission, to fulfill their goals? Instead of looking and finding out, how can I be of use to this company? We don't do that. Not many of us do that. But instead we think that if you come to a company or an employer and you say, I am willing to do anything, that this will somehow paint you as somebody who's hardworking and is willing to learn. If you're willing to learn, you would have taken the time to learn before you came to ask me for a job. Let me help you understand. When you respond to an individual who asks you, what can you do? And you tell me, or you say to them, anything. In essence, what you're doing, you're giving me the job or the responsibility to now go away and think for you and start to ask you, well, what abilities do you have? Well, let me have a look at you. What do I think? You're giving me work so that I go away and do what you're supposed to do. and try and find you a job. Personally, and any boss that I know, they are busy people. They are not going to go away with the limited time they have to sit down and think for you and think of something that maybe she can do this. No, this is why we end up doing the lowest skilled of jobs. Because for such lower skilled jobs, you don't need to think hard. If an office is dirty, you don't need to think hard to clean it. This is why the position you're given is one of a cleaner. Cleaning is not difficult. The position you're given is one of standing at the door and just check who's coming in and out. The position you're given is easy. Stand there and someone who wants to come and buy, come in, take the money, give them. That's the easy stuff. Because you have not taken the time to prepare. How do we prepare, Winnie? If there's a company that you admire, if there's an individual that you aspire to be like, many of you have said to me, Winnie, I want to be like you. I want to be able to speak like you. Winnie, I want to be as confident like you. That's good. Now let me ask you a question. Have you taken the time to look into, well, how did she get there? Or what is it that her company wants to do? Or what is her purpose? What is her vision? Many of you have said, we want to go to the diaspora. We want to go to the United States. We want to go to London. We want to go to Europe. We are tired of being in some of these Arab nations. I'm tired of working as a maid. I want to go to the UK. Good. Now let me ask you a question. What are you doing? What have you done to prepare, to qualify you to go to the United Kingdom? Many of you have not even looked into visa requirements to come to these countries. You say, I want to be a manager. I want to be a director. You have no idea. It has not even yet come into your thinking. You have not even picked up a book or used that phone and accessed the internet and found out, to be a director, what do you need? To be a doctor, what do you need? To be an engineer, what do you need? We have not even done that. But we are very good. We become experts in wishing. We have become experts in dreaming. We have become experts. We wake up early in the morning to go to social media, to go to Instagram and Twitter and Facebook, to see what everybody else is doing, to listen to the news. We are experts at dreaming. You're somebody that is into fashion, that loves cooking. You put on the cooking channel. You put on the fashion channel. You buy the magazines. I remember, I used to love fashion. And I remember I used to love beauty and hairdressing. And there were magazines that were produced on a weekly and on a monthly basis. I would make sure every week I would buy these magazines. Every year I would buy these magazines, or month. And I remember at the end of the year, I looked at how many magazines I had piled up and counted how much money I had spent that year on magazines. I had spent £2,000 on hair and beauty and fashion magazines. And this is the sad thing. I had learned nothing on how to create some of the fashion trends that I saw. I had learned nothing on how to create or style or do the makeup in these magazines. Nothing. But I had wasted time and money that I will never get back. Until by God's grace I learned. If I'm into hair, right, let me go. I went and did a hairdressing course. And back then, ladies and gentlemen, in the United Kingdom, doing courses like that, it was for free. Many courses. The opportunity was there. It was for free. Now you've got to pay for everything. Because we missed the opportunity. We were not prepared. The time is now to wake up. Stop looking to people. Africa and Uganda has been ruined by the aid that we receive. Those in these European countries where benefits are given, young people, men and women's lives are destroyed because of benefits. Now, I know somebody's probably going to crucify me for saying this. And when you look, for example, in the political arena of the UK, for example, when you look at those parties that are for benefits and welfare, the majority want them to be in power. And sometimes those parties that have been against or have been for reducing the welfare dependence of the people or the people's dependence on welfare, those are the ones that have been criticized. But I absolutely agree. We have a generation of people growing up who have no idea what it means to get up and go and work and earn money and buy or get what it is that you want. We have an entire generation of young people who know that the only way to buy and get what you want is to wake up and go to your welfare office and get your benefits. An entire generation that has been destroyed because of this way of thinking. We have young people now, because some of these TV shows that we're seeing, these talent shows, where you go in and you sing and all of a sudden you've become a millionaire, you're famous. We're living in a time where everybody wants to be a celebrity. But the mistake that some of these shows make is that they don't show you the behind the scene work that goes into producing and you guys seeing the end result. When you look at some of these singers, these musicians, you have no idea what goes in the background, what they have had to do to get to the point where they're presentable and you're seeing them and you like the sound that you hear. Behind them are teams of people. When sadly you look at people like Kim Kardashian and you want to be like her, why in the world, I don't know. When you look at some of the people, what you don't understand that this woman has a team of people behind her who are responsible for, she's got somebody responsible for the hair, somebody responsible for the makeup, somebody responsible for the physique, somebody responsible for the wardrobe, somebody responsible for everything. There's a team, there's hard work that goes into this before you see it. Preparation comes before the opportunities. Wake up, Ugandans. Wake up, Africans. Wake up, individuals. Stop wishing. It is a complete waste of time to wish. So then the question is, Winnie, how do we prepare? This is how you prepare. Study. Read books. Some of this information that you need to prepare has been written in a book. If you're in a country where there are libraries, go to a library and read books. You say, Winnie, I don't know how to read. Learn how to read. My goodness, if you go onto YouTube and type in, write this, type in learning how to read, it will come up for free. Learn how to read. Watch the right thing. Stop listening to music and trying to... We are experts in the latest dance move. You're experts and you know what the latest songs are. You're an expert in gossip. This is why bloggers that blog about gossip have the biggest following. But yet you complain you've got nothing to eat and to feed your children. But you've got time to make, you've got money to buy and buy data or credit. Or find yourself moving to a position where there's Wi-Fi, not because you're going to go and read a book, but so that you can catch up on the latest gossip. How do we prepare? If you're in a country that requires you to learn the language, you're saying, Winnie, I don't have the money. You don't need... Ladies and gentlemen, let me repeat this to you. I've said this before. Money is not your problem. Money is not the problem. If you type in how to speak that language in YouTube, on the internet, it will come up for free. How do we prepare? Listen. Some people don't want to listen. You think you know everything. Listen to those that know. Accept that you don't know. One way to prepare. You must accept that you don't know. Men, women. Many people walk around pretending like they know, but they don't know. You go to buy something and spend money on a knockoff copy of something, on a fake copy of something, but you think you know. Accept that you don't know. Accept you're wrong. This is all part of preparation. Accept, you know what, I was wrong. But part of the reason why our leaders are driving us into disastrous times, into poverty, into hopelessness, is their unwillingness to accept they are wrong. You know, I was wrong to start that project. I was wrong to employ that individual. I was wrong to assign my brother or my sister to that position. Unwillingness to accept when one is in the wrong. Because once you don't accept you're wrong, you're not going to correct or rectify things. And you will see sometimes some of the structures that are built in our nations. You will see somebody construct a house. But because they don't know, the wall is crooked, is not straight. But because they're not willing to accept they were wrong, you will go to a brand new house and the windows are not straight. And the ceiling is not straight. So you have an entire building that compromises the safety of those that will live in that building. Because someone was not willing to accept that they were wrong. Or somebody had money that they're able to pay, that somebody does not point out their mistake. Only for a few years later, for the entire building to collapse and kill hundreds of people. And even then, no law changes. No one goes to prison. No one is held responsible. Because no one is willing to accept that they are wrong. Accept that you're wrong. Repent, say sorry, apologize. This is all part of being prepared. To repent means turning away from the wrong you know you've been doing and taking a complete U-turn to start to do things the right way. In a family setting, in a relationship setting, in a work setting, in a national and local setting. Turn away from the lifestyle that you're leading that you know is leading you into debt. You complain about not having money, but you're not willing to stop the lifestyle. You're addicted to shopping. You're a shopaholic. You spend money that you don't have. The lifestyle that you're living, that you're getting up and watching on Facebook every day, wanting to be what you're not. It's good to aspire to be great. But where you are right now, that hairstyle that you want, your income right now cannot sustain that hairstyle. And so you borrow money. You're probably going to think, Winnie, you're a little bit angry. I'm not angry today. It hurts me. You will borrow money to buy a wig or weave that is costing you 10 times more than you earn a month. And so you've got nice hair and you're able to take pictures to put on your Instagram or your social media account so that everyone says, wow, she's beautiful, she's amazing. But the hairstyle you have, or the outfit you have, or the car you've just purchased, the trainers and the shoes you've just purchased, cost 10 times more than your paycheck. So you're going to have to work 10 weeks or 10 months you won't even break even because you have expenses like food, like shelter, like rent that you're not able to meet right now. So you're always working in negative. And then you say, things never work out for me. Because you're not willing to change a lifestyle that's leading you into debt. You find yourself in trouble with the authorities, with the police. You're not willing to learn. How do you prepare? Turn away from bad friends. Turn away from groups. Some of you are still members of groups that you complain about every single day. You say this WhatsApp group but why are you still in the WhatsApp group if it leads you to complain every single day? You cannot criticize what you allow. Switch off the bad TV networks. Stop watching them. You keep saying they're bad, but you keep watching. You keep saying they're wrong, but you've now subscribed to these channels. You attack the people that run those channels. You spend time to do live videos and call them evil, but you're subscribed to their channels. How to prepare? Prepare by exercising. So many people have contracted sicknesses and diseases because you don't do any exercise. You think exercise is for those in the West. No, exercise is for your health. Pray. Fast and pray. Get to know. Get to know. There are technologies, there are trends that have become extinct or are no longer being used. This recording is going to be a lot longer than normal. Here's the sad thing. There's some technologies or some trends that when you look in the developed countries are now actually being put out of use because the world has advanced so much that there are now new technologies. But because we are not prepared, or maybe somebody has not told us, or we have not taken the time to find out, our education systems, our curriculum is still teaching subjects that when a student has completed that degree or that subject, that by the time they finish and have that qualification will no longer be required. Because the trend is 5-10 years from now, the job you're studying for will no longer exist. This has been the problem of Uganda and Africa, where we have prepared, because still we have not taken time to research and know what's going to be needed in the future. Even when our parents have given up everything they have to educate us, the systems have let us down, that they're teaching us things that are not going to be needed in the future. This is why you have graduates that have migrated and are now working as maids, because the qualification they have is actually irrelevant. There's a young man that I follow. I love this young man. I can't remember his name. And I think today actually, he's doing a talk today. And I've been bombarding him with messages. Probably going to think I'm a stalker now. And he's going to be talking about some of the new technologies and how they impact our future as Ugandans or as a nation. We need to get to know. We need to find out. Parents, before you push your child to study to be an accountant or a doctor, find out, put it into Google, what are the skills that are going to be needed 10 years from now? Some of you, you're running, I must make sure I get my driver's license. Hello? Do you realize in a few years from now, driverless cars are already in production? That if your goal is to come to a foreign country and become a taxi driver, there's a robot that is going to have your job. You won't need to do that. But if all your efforts right now are in learning how to drive, they're talking about driverless cars. We have technologies, things like Siri. There's a computer that will help protect your house. The gentleman I speak about, his name is Leonard Alvin, I think, Kabwama. I've been following him and he's doing a talk today. We must get to know. Find out what's going to be needed in the future. The warehouses are being built. If you're somebody that has land and you want to plan, find out what the future houses look like. I'm going to stop it. I'm going to come back tomorrow and talk and continue and talking about this, how to prepare. Let's get prepared. Let's start to prepare. Our topic today has been this. Preparation comes before opportunity. It's not that Ugandans don't have opportunity, that Africans don't have opportunities, that you don't have an opportunity. There's too many opportunities. Too many opportunities. As long as there are problems are opportunities. What I'm going to ask you today and challenge you to do today is this. Get ready in the ways that I've described above. Find out. Get to know. Get out of your comfort zone and find out. Because I believe that we can. Ugandans can. Women can. Africans can. You can. Get out of the stance of self-pity. Stop feeling sorry for yourself. That's not going to help you. But it is time we take ownership of the future that we want for our country and for our children. It is time we stop blaming others. It's time to stop looking to the West and to find out for ourselves. This is Winnie Chitaka, empowering Ugandan women for the Uganda Youth Collective.